Let's talk about tech. Let's go on the tech hour. Apple. Let's start with Apple.
Mm-hmm.
Apple stock hit all-time highs today. Legendary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, got up to what 262,
264.
260.
I
Yeah,
think it got
264.38.
yeah.
Close at 262.
So Apple, you know, it survived. It survived every era. It's
Mm-hmm.
still here. They said the iPhone sales are booming.
Mm-hmm.
They got the AirPod.
Passport Bro edition cooking.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm spokesperson now. They signed a deal with F1,
Yep.
5-year deal with them, which was if you watch the movements, right? F1 the movie was their first one of their biggest movies in terms of blockbuster hits.
Yeah.
With Brad Pitt, and so it kind of makes sense that they
It's a great
prepared you
movie
for
too.
it.
Yeah.
They actually, so I finally I didn't turn on my Vision Pro for a while, but that you can actually sit inside the F1 car in your Vision Pro now, and so you can kind of see how they were trying to build this up. They wanted something in the world of live action sports. They didn't get basketball. I don't think they've given up on that. Like if you listen to some of the press conferences, they're like, "Yeah, we're here to stay. We're not here for 2 to 3 years. We're not here for 10 years. We're here forever."
Mm-hmm.
And so they will eventually have enough to put money into one of these leagues. I know they had some MLS. They did Major League Baseball, but they got one game a week. So F1, even though it's not even like ESPN still has it, you can see like their foray into it and them trying to put all their technology. Decent.
Shout out to Vic Mensa. He actually filmed a music video on his iPhone.
Yep.
And Pastor Jamal Bryant had an interesting thing where he said that he felt that the reason why they picked Bad Bunny was because they want people to listen on the AirPods when he talks in Spanish. So everybody's talking about Apple these days. And then I saw somebody in the comments that said Mansa Musa was the richest person. He's from Ghana. He actually is from Mali. Timbuktu.
Yeah.
Timbuktu. That's modern day Mali. But Kush. The Kush Kingdom.
Oh.
Look it up. Look it up, ladies and gentlemen. The real Kush.
Yes, I have the meta glasses. Mr. Monty, I have the meta glasses, my boy.
Okay. Apple, have they made it through? And this is clear sailing to greatness?
Definitely. I gotta give them credit for being resilient. The iPhone 17 is selling like crazy. But the challenges that I've discussed are still there. It also highlights the point of holding, regardless of my deep criticism for them. I never changed the formulation on 2Tech 2 Index, so I'm not playing both sides. I'm just giving you analysis. Gross margin 46%, net margin is 26.8%. But they have had a tumultuous year. If you look at their comps in the tech space, when others have been flying up in comparison, they definitely hit a high, but no one who's an Apple investor will say that this is one of their best years. My main concern is that they'll never be in the number one market cap spot again. So that's my primary concern. But once again, Timothy D. Cook, gotta apologize. I didn't know you was facing that battle with another entity that can't be named.
What battle are you referring to?
I'm never going to say that.
Why not?
Because I haven't got to 500-600 million yet.
500-600.
It's not every battle isn't worth fighting. But have they done a great job? But I'll text you. You can say it if you want to.
Please.
But yeah, kudos to them for fighting through. Kudos to everyone at HQ. I'm still looking for the announcement of what they're going to do in the AI space and see how they're going to work through that. And I think the greatest entrepreneurs and executives on earth, once again, have had to. Zuckerberg had to fight through Congress, not getting Libra coin, not getting certain crypto partnerships, not being able to buy TikTok. And he found a way to recalibrate the company to continue to do better post 2022. I'm looking to see the same thing out of Apple, and then also to see what the vision is in terms of succession planning once Tim does step down as well.
They have been resilient. I think maybe a month ago when we were talking about Apple, I was like, look, we may have been looking at it wrong. We might have been looking at this whole thing wrong from a standpoint of They've got this treasure chest. Has it been depleted slightly? Yes, but it's still there. And they're gonna wait this thing out and see where they're going to make innovation at, rather than saying they were going to be a leader in innovation.
Mhm.
And that strategy has worked for the most part. Also, we talked about that the iPhone, and I was a victim of it as a a guy that loves Apple products. I upgraded just because I wanted to use the headphones and I couldn't use it on an older phone. And so
Yeah.
that life cycle is starting to catch up, right? If you can't have the newest technology, then you're going to upgrade your phone. And that's apparently what has happened with the 17. It has made some improvements, but other phones have that technology already. It's just the brand loyalty that comes with it. And they're going into the biggest quarter of the year for them. I
Mhm.
mean, so when you talk about Fed rates getting cut, you talk about fourth quarter coming into to play here. I know they got earnings next week. I like Apple to keep climbing. I don't see the tailwind that pulls it back, especially when we start to see some of these numbers come in for the 17. I know it's preliminary now, but maybe we'll get a fresh look at where it's headed. China sales improved.
Mhm.
That's huge for them, right? We were talking about 2 years of declining
Yeah,
sales in China.
he made that trip over there.
That has changed. And
Mhm.
if you saw where he was at this weekend, it tells you that there's more innovation to come. Tim Cook, Jensen Wong, they were at the unveiling of the new fab, the TSM fab in Arizona, which is about to come online. They used to be TSM's number one customer. NVIDIA is now. And so there's more manufacturing, more chips. I know they're talking about the new MacBook. They're slow and steady,
Mhm.
which is crazy to say for a company that's a $3 trillion company.
Yep.
I don't see them going back to number one anytime soon.
That was my
But
question.
but
Probability.
they'll be in the top five. They top five.
For
All right,
sure.
tech check. Let's move this along. AMD, uh, been on a tear. Also, all time high, 240 right now.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's going up tremendously. So you would think at some point it would have to have some level of a pullback. Shout out to Dave Shans. Called me today. He's in the AMD option. I know a lot of people are in AMD options.
Chance, I'm expecting a thank you letter at some point.
So
And cash
what is
considerations.
Cash considerations at some point.
Yeah.
what's AMD's?
I think the entire space is going to continue to climb. If you're looking for a price, maybe if it pulls back to 212.48 or 220, 212, that would be an area I would like to potentially get in. If they do have a pullback, maybe halfway through next month, they could pull back, but no, back to being risk on. The days of conservative investing are over, and if you are a conservative investor looking into conservative companies, your portfolio is going to be eaten alive. Prime example of that would be Salesforce. I like Benioff. I like Salesforce. They are 2 steps behind of where the new market is. So as a result, like investors have to deploy money if you run a fund. You can't just put cash on the side. They've been a beneficiary of that, and of course, AMD tightening up their relationship with Washington has helped them tremendously. So AMD will be fine. Maybe by February, no, probably by January, they should be at 256.92, and then 2-year price will be like 298.87. They will have a pullback at some point because this is a key level for Nvidia. Historically, it always has been, but long term, Nvidia will be okay.
AMD.
AMD, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's this is a case of, you know what, there's a price point for every customer, and
Mhm.
some customers will like the highest price point because they believe that's the highest value. Some people will pay the mid tier, and they've done that and they've mastered it.
Yep.
And this is success of it. I think Lisa has made some great moves, starting with going to Saudi and figuring out partnerships there. And she's been at it. I mean, I spoke about Tim Cook. I forgot to say that she was there. Lisa Su, who was the CEO of
Mhm.
AMD, was also at the unveiling at TSM's fab in Arizona, speaking about their relationship. The OpenAI partnership. I mean, you're talking about a company that it's advantageous for it to use your products to help gain more market share and help with that overall revenue. partnership with Oracle. They're in a space right now that they have clearly put themselves in as number two, and they've
Yep.
cemented themselves as number two, and people are valuing it as number two, which is okay, right? You're gonna. This is not a $1 trillion company yet, right? This is not Broadcom. This is not Nvidia. They are firm in where they're at, and they still have room for growth. I don't think this is the end for AMD, even at 240. I think that there's some more room here toward the end of this year for it to keep climbing.
And next year as well, because Nvidia is the rising tide that lifted all boats. And their executive team, especially Lisa, when she was the first, like, not included in that class, she made great adjustments to make sure that they didn't get left behind. They did the opposite of what Intel as a company historically did the last 10 years. So you got to give them credit for
Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to everybody that was in those AMD calls. And if you had a plan, then you're not going to ask me, should you sell?
Facts.
Please.
You got to know the exit before you get in.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. That goes for any position that we talk about.
Microsoft. We haven't talked about Microsoft in a while. Not at an all-time high, but it is doing well.
It's close.
516.
Yeah. All-time highs, 555, 45. Microsoft, I think they'll have their moment before the end of the year where they should cross that barrier and break their all-time high. I remember a top of a couple of said stock of the decade that's panned to be true. Well-run company, very little scandals, amazing profit margin, continue to hold. If you guys need a price, I'll throw one out. Stock Club don't get mad. If it gets back to 508.71, that's an area I would like to get in. But Microsoft is a definite hold through 2032. And for sure, still, in my opinion, will be stock of the decade, regardless of what Sam Altman does and their relationship with OpenAI. However that pans out to be. Microsoft probably one of the best run companies in the world right now, and operating how I wish Apple would, to be honest.
Yeah. I mean, what do you want? What can we say about it? The OpenAI investment has turned out to be absolutely incredible.
One of the greatest investments of all time.
Their investment in Constellation Energy is something that hasn't been talked about, I think, enough, because you can talk about forward vision, right? We can have these data centers, but they already were thinking, if we're going to have the data centers and we're going to run them in the cloud, we need to have a power company that's going to help us do this. And so they've been innovative in that space. The only thing I wonder about, it was the acquisition of Activision Blizzard. I'm still trying to figure out what that was about. But other than that, I mean, yeah, like you said, well-run company is going to be here. I mean, even by default, we know what they're doing in the terms of artificial intelligence with their partnerships with OpenAI. So this is one of these gold standard companies that, you know, you got to just have this in the portfolio and keep it there.
All right. Two more, MU and TSM. TSM reported last week.
Yeah.
And actually went down slightly, and then it went up. But TSM still holding strong. Not at their all-time high, but not too far from it either.
Not too far from it. Yeah.
Yeah, they ran up to, after earnings, they ran up to 311, then pulled back down to 291. Kind of just moving back and forth. And that key level of 310, let's see if we can cross that over the next couple of weeks. TSM, even when they reported, you know, I was listening, and I forget which secretary it was, but he said, look, we have to win the AI race. This isn't a matter of just winning with China. This is a matter of national security.
Yep.
And you cannot win this race. It's impossible to win this race without having Taiwan Semiconductor being the piece, right? They just actually released a video. I'll put it in EYLU tonight or tomorrow morning about what that fab looks like. And you can see ASML as that key component, right? They now announced that TSM is going to be using the 2 nanometer on their wafers, which is, I mean, this is the first of its kind, right? So when we're talking about how much faster, how much smaller, how much more efficient, but even more important, how energy efficient it is, right? So they said that it's going to be reduced 20 to 30% less power. So when we talk about how much power is going to be needed to, you know, put these GPUs in racks and power them, that's all part of it. TSM has been in the portfolio. I mean, I've been talking about it to death, and it's still at 300, at 298, where it looks like it's going to open tomorrow. It's still undervalued to me.
Yeah.
Like, I think it is the core of the AI economy. NVIDIA doesn't manufacture its chips, right? That's what TSM does. Apple
Yeah.
doesn't manufacture its chips. That's what TSM does. AMD doesn't manufacture its chips. That's what TSM. All of them, 90% of the world's GPUs are manufactured by this company. It's the reason why it's a national security issue. It's the reason
For
why those
sure.
fabs are online in Arizona, and they got them up and running by 2026 when the projected date was supposed to be late 2027. They know that we have to start producing them here because we cannot have a supply chain issue. TSM, I'm with this company for the long run.
Yeah, and I think anyone trying to short it or getting away from TSM, you're making a generational mistake. I like it at 284. Is TSM better than Apple?
It's in this economy, this AI economy, is more important
ASML better, more important than Apple right now?
for the future of AI. Yeah, you can't have it.
Yes. But we're
It
seeing a
doesn't.
generational switch from hardware devices to, like, these companies are so important. And like you said, to the fundamental structure of American economy. Like, I put it in Stock Club this past week, but without AI and data centers, the GDP growth in America was 0.1%.
But when you say more important, what does that actually
To
mean?
AI, I'm saying.
To AI, not
Yeah.
not to the world.
No, to AI, to AI.
To AI.
Yeah.
Not to the world.
No. To the AI, right? And that, if we went down a food chain per se of how artificial intelligence is going to work, it has to start with ASML, right? Because they had the EUV machines that can produce, right? What TSM is going to use to produce and manufacture chips, right? So if you don't have the machines, those EUV machines, which they have a monopoly on, they're the only company in the world that makes them. And we talked about it in the car, but there are other countries, not companies, but other countries that are
Yep.
trying to figure out how to make that machine, right? And it's not something that can just be built in a day. These machines cost 400 million to make one, but they're needed to have in this flow. So the flow starts at ASML, goes down to Taiwan Semiconductor. Once they have those machines, in a video, they show you exactly how they work. Now they can manufacture, right? People can send in, hey, this is what we want built. This is what we want built. This is what we want built. TSM has those fabs to do it, obviously in Taiwan, but again, here in America, and then it goes out. Obviously, then NVIDIA can be who they're going to be. Then Broadcom can be who they're going to be. AMD can be who they're going to be. But it starts with those two from the machine standpoint, from the manufacturing standpoint.
So the last one for tech check.
Hold on, I didn't say Micron.
That's what I said.
You gonna say that?
MU.
Yeah, he's about to say it.
What can I say? No, it actually played out exactly how we thought it would when we talked about American companies being dominant in a space, and specifically high bandwidth memory. In this case, there are three leaders, and two of them are not from this country, right? You got Samsung and you got SK Hynix, and those three companies make up pretty much all of the high bandwidth memory chips that are out there or running at a high efficiency. Micron is the American company in terms of making America more efficient and keeping things in-house. That is the space that they're going to go. And we've seen it. We've seen partnerships with them in NVIDIA, which was the first sign. Usually when I'm looking for signs, I look for the hyperscalers. And when I say hyperscalers, I'm looking at Meta, I'm looking at NVIDIA, I'm looking at Microsoft, I'm looking at Google, sometimes Apple, even though they try to do things in-house. If I see those companies are involved in partnerships with these companies,
it's a positive sign.
Oh, that's like one of those metrics. I'm like, all right, that means there's CapEx spend that is going to go out. Micron, we've been in this for the past 3 years. I know we've been taking some hits for it, but this is the importance of investing in companies that you believe are going to be here for a long time. That's going to be the leader for a while. I know they just got approved for the plant, and shout out to Cheryl McKissick for telling us about that prior to it happening. The plant in New York is going to be online shortly. It's going to be the leader in that space. And if you know how high bandwidth memory works, you obviously know that GPUs need to have that as a component. How do we know that, ladies and gentlemen? We actually saw that, right? We actually looked at a GPU and looked at the components of it, and we saw which companies were part of it. We were at GTC. This was a no-brainer, and I'm just happy to see it thrive like it is. And again, I don't think this one's done. I don't think Micron's done, but there's some other companies as well.
Yeah, shout out to NVIDIA. That was something that we was able to do when we actually went to NVIDIA's campus, and exposure definitely changes situation when you have that level of access, and we had that level of access to their campus and to Meta's campus, and
Yep.
we saw some things when we went to NVIDIA that it was just like, okay, now this is pretty much a no-brainer.
hmm
So, that exposure, man, like, just always keep that in mind. Sometimes in life, you only get a few opportunities sometimes in life. And when you get that exposure moment,
Yeah.
you gotta take it.
Gotta take
All right.
advantage of it. Even seeing the circular investment, where it started from.
You know what's crazy when we think about this, right? Like, so this is March of last year. Think about the companies that we literally saw and just kept seeing. Micron was one. I actually took a picture of it. And I'm like, yo, they have a huge display here, and the representation here must be sick. We saw Vertiv, right?
Yep.
And we can see how Vertiv has performed this year. We also saw Supermicro.
Supermicro, yeah, was prominent.
Now, quietly is kept, right? Supermicro was down at 27. Look at it today,
Yeah.
right? Look at it today. Nearly 100% since that point. Slowly but surely. So those companies that we saw like in partnership and working with and understanding their roles, Broadcom, another one we saw. There's a reason why they start showing up at these events, because they have partnerships, and those partnerships lead to more revenue for these companies. We saw the racks that were being used, right? That company named Dell was there. I'm like, yo, all these tea leaves are there for us to say, okay, all right, there's something here that we need to investigate even further.
Yes, sir.
CoreWeave.
Okay. Steven Smith, he said, hey, family, I'm a single father from Chicago, driving trucks and learning from y'all after making investment mistakes, trying to give my daughters a better life. Okay, put your Cash App in the chat, my brother.
Steven Smith.
This is the day
Today's the day
that you will receive your blessing, and please DM me
For sure.
your email so we can put you in EY University.
That's easy.
And
For
Sanford
sure.
Stock Club.
Please.
It's vitally important.
Yeah, Steve, highlight it again so we can make sure that we find you.
Salute to all the single parents out there.
Yeah,
For
shout out
sure.
to them. Getting it done.
Driving a truck, making no excuses. It's never no excuse not to be there for your children.
For sure.
Shout
Death
out
to
to
the
child,
deadbeats.
shout out to child support's a fraud. That's what he always say. Well, we still taking care of them kids though. We're
Yep.
gonna fight the child support, but we still taking
Let's
care
take
of
it
the kids.
no matter what.
No excuse.
No matter what.
It's never no excuse not to take care of your kids.
Yep.
Um,
That's a fact.